What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Last Stand starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, I'm going to make this review as short and sweet as I possibly can. The Last Stand won't go down as a long lost classic in Arnie's catalog of movies, but I think it's a serviceable 1980s inspired action movie. The plot of The Last Stand is this: Arnold plays a sheriff of a small town who, along with his deputies, need to prevent an international drug cartel from crossing the border after this cartel had pretty much, escaped FBI custody. That's pretty much the overall plot of the movie, so let's talk about it. I think that The Last Stand, like I said, it's a good 1980s inspired action flick. It's not going to change the world, it's not going to change your perception on things. It's just a good old fashioned popcorn action movie. It's got a flimsy plot line. It's got decent enough characters that you can like and buy into. It's got some one-liners. This is one of those Arnold movies that doesn't really have a whole lot of one-liners, and the one-liners that they do have, they're not really memorable. To tell you the truth, there's only two one-liners in this movie that I actually thought were pretty cool. It's when Arnold said, "Welcome to Summerton," and then when he says, "I'm the sheriff." Those are the only two good one-liners in this entire movie. But other than that, the movie is fine. From a casting standpoint, Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's first lead role post his governorship of California, and to me, Arnold hasn't lost a beat. And I like how this movie, it portrays Arnold for what he is. He's old. He's not what he used to be. He's not looking for action. He just wants to enjoy the quiet life. Until one fateful day, he is forced to go back into a life. He's forced to pretty much stop an international drug cartel from coming through his town and to escaping for freedom. And that's where he has to get his deputies together to kind of form a blockade to prevent that from happening. While all the while, you know, you have the subplot involving Forrest Whitaker's character as an FBI agent who is currently trying to transfer this international drug cartel named Gabriel Cortez into custody. And it's actually the Cortez character who ends up being the one who ends up being our villain of the movie. Uh, Performance wise, I thought the actor who played Cortez did a good job. From a writing standpoint, Cortez, there's nothing to him at all. He's just a generic villain. The only thing that stands out is that he's a race car driver. That's pretty much it. And the scenes of him driving this souped up race car are actually well directed and really well done, and they have some suspense levels to it. That's pretty much it for that. Uh, Johnny Knoxville's in this movie, and I actually don't mind Johnny Knoxville, to be honest with you. I thought Johnny Knoxville was actually pretty funny in this movie. I laughed at a lot of his jokes, and I was really amused with the bantering between him and Schwarzenegger. I don't know, for some reason they just worked well for me. Like Schwarzenegger's straight man, and you have Johnny Knoxville's just goofy, colorful, over the topness bouncing right off of him. It worked for me for some reason. I don't know why. Luis Guzman's in this movie. He plays Sheriff Owens, his right hand man, and I like Luis Guzman. I thought he did a good job as well. Jamie Alexander, who is one of my favorite actors at work, and she's in this movie. I liked her too. Rodrigo Santoro, who plays Xerxes in 300, he's in this movie, and he has a role where he suffers from PTSD, but once the death of his friend Jerry, who is also a cop, dies, it kind of inspires Frank to pretty much stand with Owens and to stop chaos from coming to their town. So I like. He has a nice little arc, and the movie also hints and teases that he and the character of Sarah, played by Jamie Alexander, had a bit of a, has a have a bit of a checkered, rocky relationship with one another, though there's still feelings there. But I like how the movie didn't dwell on that. To be honest with you, this is not a movie that's developing any romantic relationships. It's about showing you action. When the movie shows action, I think the director Kim Ji Woon does a good job behind the camera. He's got some good visuals to him. So he's got some good visuals throughout this movie. I particularly like this stuff at the end where Schwarzenegger is chasing Cortez through a cornfield, and then they have a nice little entertaining brawl on this man-made bridge. I thought that was pretty cool. The chaos and shootout in the town itself is very, very entertaining, and just everything you want in a shootout. It's got blood, chaos, gun violence, whatever you need. It's there. I like that stuff. It works for me. Um, the characters themselves, like I said, they're not really overly thinly. They're very thinly written. They're just written enough for you to care about them. If anything, I think this movie has a very missed opportunity with the Forrest Whitaker character of Bannister. His Bannister's side of the movie feels almost unrelated to the Schwarzenegger half of the movie. Like the two characters barely interact with one another. They don't really interact fully until like the end of the movie, where all is said and done, and that's where they meet for the first time face to face. I would have actually had Bannister join Owens in taking down the threat. In taking down the threat, pretty much because I wanted to see more of Schwarzenegger and Whitaker bouncing off one another. I think Whitaker is kind of wasted in the role of Bannister. Doesn't really do much, but Whitaker has this subplot where he pretty much finds out that one of his agents took a bribe from Cortez, and that's how Cortez was able to escape police custody. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much his whole thing. That's pretty much what Bannister does. That's what, like I said, I think Whitaker is kind of wasted in this movie, which is a shame because Whitaker's a talented actor. And I think this movie also had a missed opportunity to have Owens and Bannister work together and bounce off one another. But I think that would have been kind of interesting to see. That's me personally. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is not a memorable movie per se, but it's a good, solid action movie. You can watch it. It's entertaining. You're not going to get bored. It hits all the right beats. And that's all I got to say. So, The Last Stand, to me, gets a 6.5 out of 10. I do like it, and it's enjoyable. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.